Hi, good morning. It's Friday morning and it's time for your devotional moment. I'm Pastor Pete from Northminster Presbyterian Church here in Tucson. And maybe you hear that in the background. That's my air conditioning running. Can you hear that noise? It's kind of a constant buzz. I have my little air conditioner controller here. Hold on one second. Sometimes when it's on, it's noisy. There. That's better. But I don't want to leave it off for too long because it's getting hot and humid, especially in this season. We're actually excited about the humidity because that might mean there's a possibility of a monsoon rain. But it's just that time of year where we don't want to be without our thermostat, air conditioner controllers. And I have a question for you. How is your thermostat these days? Not just the one that's maybe in your home or where your office is, but your internal thermostat. We can't be without air conditioning in Arizona this time of year. I can't even imagine what the earliest pioneers to Arizona did in the heat of summer. Can't imagine what life was like. We need it. But the other thing we need in life is our own heat regulator in our lives, in our spiritual lives. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's some heat going on in our culture right now. There's political heat. There's heat around the virus and the effects upon our communities. There's heat among school leaders, administrators, and teachers. There's heat all over the place. And if we're not careful, we can quickly heat up ourselves. I am noticing all of the ways that people are being triggered. And a trigger happens when there's something emotional in us. Something is said or something happens, and all of a sudden it pushes our button. It pushes our thermostat. And we get hot, and all of a sudden things are seemingly out of control. And when they're out of control, we respond. And we respond maybe in ways that we mean to, hotly, or maybe we respond with peace. I've been reading in the letter from James, the letter of James in the New Testament, and I'd recommend if you're feeling hot these days, or maybe you're not quite sure what to do in the midst of the heat of all the conversations around us, to take a look at James, especially chapter 3 and chapter 4, because James talks about our tongues and how, even though it's such a small part of us, it really can steer a big ship the wrong way really fast. And it can set just like a forest fire, he says, can be set from a small fire, so the tongue can set fire into a world of unrighteousness. Even though the tongue is small, it can get us into big trouble. And so in chapter 3 and 4, it talks about how we can be pulled into the worldliness of conversations. And then all of a sudden we find our thermostat is not working and we need to get ourselves under control. And so the solution is in chapter 4, verse 8. It says, "Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." When we get caught in fights, when we get caught in not using kind language, and we get caught triggered and being triggered and then triggering others, we aren't the best selves that God is calling us to be. Next line, verse 10, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you." If you want to be doing well and exceedingly well in this culture now, the answer is to be humble. It's maybe backwards. The world teaches us that if we have to be great, we've got to step up and claim it for ourselves, not appear to be weak. But God calls us to be humble. So, how's your thermostat? Set it to God's humility. Understand that we need his grace and mercy. We fall short, but he forgives us, and he enables us to forgive others as well. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.